I'm now in the city of Resistencia, a city in northern Argentina, and I got here late last night. This is the first time I've left the hostel. It's morning, and I thought I'd head down to the main square. Now, going from the bus station, when I arrived to here, it looked a bit rough around the edges. But having looked at the place online, I think this place might surprise me. So the bus journey from Santa Fe, oh, what a nightmare that was. I was meant to leave at 7:30 yesterday morning for an 8-hour bus ride. Got to the bus station to buy the ticket there at 7 o'clock in the morning, when most people are asleep, to find out there was actually no buses that time. I only buy them at the bus station because it is cheap, and instead I was told the next bus would be at 1:30. So I went back to the hostel, apologised, had some free breakfast, and then the 8-hour journey started from there. Now, the hostel I'm staying in, very good indeed. They kept in touch with me through WhatsApp. Their check-in time closed at 10 o'clock last night, but by the time I got to the bus station and then found an Uber to get to the hostel, it was way after 10 o'clock. The guy stayed open for me, which is really good. But the journey cost me 68,000 pesos. Ouch. That's a lot of my budget gone for this month for that bus. And the hostel itself, for the size of it, it's not exactly the biggest one I've been to. It's close to how I would have my perfect hostel. It is really good. And what I'll do is at the end, when I go back to the hostel, then I'll show you what it's like. So this is just the back streets getting into the historical centre. Not a lot going on, but more importantly, if you have been following me, very good news. I've put my laundry in. I'm getting clean clothes, which for me is the most exciting part of the journey so far. Clean clothes, yay! And the city is famous for its statues. There's meant to be statues everywhere. Over 600. Not found any yet. Mind you, I've only been walking about 10 minutes. And I'm sure in the centre, there'll be lots. Fingers crossed. Right, I've come to the main high street, which leads to the square down there. And when I say statues, I actually meant sculptures. And there's my first one. And there's a few of them. So this all started in the late 1980s, I think 1988, if I remember rightly. And basically they had an international sculpture fair, and now they have it every 2 years. So sculptors from around the world will come and build a sculpture in the city and then just leave it there where they built it. As I said, there's over 600 of them all over the city. Now that is impressive. Wow. And they are random. I don't think there's a theme. cool. And this is the centre. Plaza 25th of May. That is quite big. Right, let's cross this road safely. Now the weather for the last couple of days around this area has been wet, rain, storms, and looking on the weather forecast for today, there's more rain expected. So I am going to be a bit of a hurry trying to get us round before I start getting wet. But according to the map, there is a tourist information office in this square. Just need to find it. But when you look in the map, each not corner, but each side is a boulevard like that. So it's been well designed. And there you can just see a big puddle from yesterday's rain. I mean, there's blue skies at the moment. Please stay. Beautiful. So I found the tourist information office just there, and I've been in there for about 20 minutes while the lady showed me everything I need to go and see and gave me so much information. Like with the sculptures, it's done in a festival that's held every 2 years, and the next one is coming up in July. And basically there is a place in the city, a big park further on that way, where they have 7 days to create a sculpture from scratch. And while they're making the sculpture, you've got a chance to talk to them to see what they're doing. But more importantly, once the sculptures are finished, they're placed around in the city and they are not touched. They've never been damaged, never been graffitied. They are a pride of the city. Oh, and there's the cathedral. So a quick history on the city. Officially founded in 1878, mainly by Italian immigrants. And when they arrived here, this would have been all marshy land, and they were stubborn enough to go, we're gonna try and build something here. And at the time there was a lot of resistance from the local indigenous people who weren't too keen on having Europeans here, and seemingly that is where the name of the city came from. So this is St. Ferdinand the King Cathedral. And as you walk around, you just realise that this is not one of those cities that was built to impress. It was built to survive. And I think that's why I get that feeling of rough around the edges. But from what I've been given by the tourist office, I'm going to have a walk this way, there is plenty to see around here. And I did ask if they got many tourists coming in from Europe. They get a few a week, Dutch, Germans, not many English. So two of the museums the two ladies in there told me to go to. One was the origins of the city, well worth going to, she said. And the second one, which is close by, and they're both in that direction, is a mystical museum. That perked my ears. There is local legends, mysteries of magical little people that live around here, and for some reason werewolves. I've noticed that all the chairs are so colourful. everywhere you look. And like I said, little boulevards leading off from the main square. I do like this place. Most city squares that you go around, you can spend about 5 minutes, see everything, and then go, right, where's next? This is just too big. There's a lot going on around here. And I'm still trying to find the original town hall, which every single Argentinian square will have. You've got the original Bank of the Nation just there. And you can't help but notice the little sculptures everywhere. And I always like to start off in a city or town square, because then you'll find out about the history of the place. Oh look, there is the Instagram name of the city. And that's when you find out, when you sort of dig deep into a place, why it's here, why it survived, the tone of the place. And like up there, you've got, if I remember my Roman mythology well enough, that is the she-wolf with Romulus and Remus underneath. Because it's Roman, that ties in with the Italian sort of immigrants coming here. That's a big statue. Monument of La Loba Romana. So I've just checked the map for the town hall, and usually it's actually not here. It's about 10 minutes walk that away. But there's always a courthouse, and there's the original one with a few soldiers outside. Right, I think I've seen enough of the 25th of May Plaza, so I'm just going to have a wander around that way. So I moved away from the square behind us, and I think I'm heading towards the town hall and a couple of museums I was warned off about. But I just thought I'd walk randomly without the map to get a taste of the city life. And it is a place that hasn't got a major tourist boom going on. But with the tourist office being so helpful and so knowledgeable about this place, it feels that it should be punching above its weight. My map skills are getting better. Without even looking at it again, I found the town hall, and that is not the original one. That is funky. Wow. So I'm guessing that the original one would have been down by the main square, and they've built a new one. It reminds me of Lego. Wow. As I mentioned earlier, there's a museum here for the folklore of the area, and this is it. So this all stems from the indigenous people at the time in northern Argentina, sort of Paraguay area, and they had lots of stories about werewolves being the seventh son of parents. Little people that lived in the forest called Pombero, and these were little troublemakers, small goblin-like forest spirits known for sneaking around at night, playing tricks, sometimes helping, sometimes causing chaos. My sort of people. So Museo del Hombre, not too sure if it's open or how much it costs to get in. So this is free to come in. It's all in Spanish, but I will use Google Translate. I think this is to do with the history of the area. I want to find the little goblin people. Indigenous history. Oh, look at that photograph. Right, it may not have the goblins that I was expecting, but some of this history, which I've just had to Google Translate, is fascinating. So it was basically this region built on industry going back to the late 1880s, things like sugar production, cotton, and then later on tannin from the forests. And these big companies coming in like La Forest, how do you say that? La Forestal, British backed company, and the conditions were so harsh. And these people here, you can see working in the photographs, they were paid in vouchers and coupons, not money, and they could only spend it at the company shops, and they were expensive. So slave trade, really bad. Oh, look at that. That's where they would have lived. Now this is where it gets a little bit spooky. Look at him. So a lot of these traditions that they have, the folklores, that have been passed down from generation to generation. There's a bit of mixture of religion, indigenous folklore, all mixed into one with a bit of magic. Wow. So the young lady in charge of the museum grabbed me and said, "Come upstairs," in Spanish, but I just followed her anyway. Look at this. This is all the folklore legends. Oh my God. So I've been here for the last 10 minutes because they had an English sort of transcribe of what each one of these is. Absolutely fascinating. So yeah, I've just been listening in English to what all these things are, and a lot of it is to do with Western folklore brought over and then mixed in with the indigenous, going through generation after generation. I mean, look at him. Ooh, don't bet too close. Yeah. Amazing. Amazing. And this is free. I've been in there for about an hour. That was fascinating. Immigrants, werewolves, goblins. That's what you want in a museum. But I'm just looking at the sky and it looks a bit dark. So I think I'm going to head back to the hostel before it starts pouring down. So I'm back at the hostel. I just thought I'd show you a quick round of what £8 a night gets you. So front door, come in, you've got some chairs to work with PowerPoint. If you need to work on your YouTube, free water, nice little stout couch, bit of a library. The kitchen, basic, but it's got everything. And then a big courtyard, and them stairs lead up to another area to go and chill, relax. But the rooms, this is what made it for me. Now there's someone in at the moment, and this is what it looks like when you walk in. The rooms are quite big. It's 8-man dorm, and then you've got the beds. the biggest mattresses I've had in a hostel. So comfortable with a light switch. Yeah, really good night's sleep. I was quite surprised. I mean, as you look around, it's not the best view, but it's £8 a night, so I don't care. Just up the street is the laundrette. Just down the street is a shop. Just across the road is a coffee shop. What more do you want? So that was a little insight into Resistencia, a city that has surprised me. I'm quite loving it here. Still not too sure how long I'll be staying for, but more importantly, my laundry's done. So, and it's not even rained yet. I felt a few drops coming down, but so far so good. So if you've enjoyed this little video, then all you got to do is press that like button. If you want to see more of this city, because I will be going out again tomorrow, then why not subscribe? And if you want to share this with your friends, if you want to hype it, go ahead. But until the next time, laundry time. Bye bye for now.